Jason Goes to Hell, the final Friday.
What's going on, all you wild camp counselors? Logan Voorhees and my mate over here, the masked assailant himself, Henry Hill, is with us tonight.
Henry Harvey.
And Howie Hill, those wild Hill boys.
Yep. Howie Hill and Howie Long, our best friends.
Howie Mandel.
Anthony Purell.
How you doing tonight, mate?
Good, man. How about you?
I'm doing great. Had a really busy week at work, but now vacation starts. I'm off until November 4th, so life couldn't be any wilder right now.
Damn, I bet you're feeling lit right about now, knowing that you got all those days off ahead of you.
I'm celebrating with a nice cup of coffee here. I'm getting wild.
What? You're getting wild. What kind of creamer you got? What flavor?
Irish cream. No, is the best. That's the juiciest kind that I prefer.
Touche.
Tonight we're going to be talking about one of the worst movies I've seen in a long time. One of the worst entries in the Friday the 13th franchise. I'm talking about 1993's Jason Goes to Hell, the final Friday. And thank God for that.
Yeah, we were thinking it might be the final one, and after the horrible mess that we saw, it kind of could have ended there. But you pretty much only had to go up from that movie. It was horrible across the board. Terrible acting, terrible writing, terrible everything. I just couldn't get into it. It was bad. The whole scenario. I mean, it was kind of cool that there was a bunch of like soldiers there that, shot him up at the beginning and kind of blew him up. Because, everybody would be like, man, just imagine if you could fucking pump as much ammo into Jason, just to see, would he die? What happens? And this movie kind of answers that, but in the most horrible way possible.
It's one of the stupidest intros ever. They're just like putting like 1,000 rounds into Jason. But basically the setup is this FBI agent is undercover at Crystal Lake, and they basically ambush Jason, like a FBI SWAT team or whatever, and they just start shooting and kill him, obviously. And that's the whole setup, is like this FBI agent being undercover at Crystal Lake. And she's in the shower or whatever. And then
all it took was, a helpless female at Crystal Lake to lure Jason out.
Yeah, exactly. And then it goes into the opening scene, and they're like, okay, where are they going to go from here? Jason's dead, you think? And then they haul his body off, and then it sets up the rest of the film.
That's the most we really see of Jason throughout the whole film. I mean, there's a brief part where you'll see him again, but it's mostly his soul or demonic essence or what have you being passed from person to person. And it's kind of hilarious. Like the first way that he switches bodies is that he's, all his body parts are at, with the coroner there, and, coroners, they have to check everything out. They do the autopsy, they measure and weigh everything, see if there's any cancer or other diseases. Well, anyways, he's going through it and he's taking notes on his like voice recorder, and like he has the heart and he starts talking about the heart, and then like he gets done taking the measurements and then weighing and stuff and sort of sets it over to the side and starts working again. And then all of a sudden he just like starts looking over it all creepy and like obsessively at the heart, and the heart, starts beating. And then like, I don't know, apparently he gets so attached, he's so zoned in on the heart that he just takes it and like eats it, like fucking bites it like it's a hamburger, and he's like super hungry. Well, anyways, he goes to town on the heart, and he starts belching out black shit from the heart, and, acting like he's all possessed. Yeah. And so that's kind of where it begins. Like, that's Jason now, just in a different body.
Yeah, he basically like possesses all these different people, and they start killing people in the movie, and that's pretty much it. It's kind of a bizarre premise, and then it really doesn't mix with the rest of the franchise. I guess it's the one-off at the very end, and just kind of all over the place and doesn't make sense. And in terms of like continuity and things like that, last movie he was in Manhattan and survived that apparently, and made it back to Camp Crystal Lake. somehow.
Yeah, and
Then you think about that.
Looks different, a lot different than he did in that film too. Like a totally
Yeah.
different look, and
Every movie he looks a little different, but yeah, this one he has like his skin coming out of the helmet. I don't know.
he looks more like fucking Quasimodo in this one.
Yeah, he looks like
Creature.
deformed, more deformed somehow. It's like growing out of the mask.
Maybe I guess maybe they could explain it because he goes into toxic waste in Manhattan.
Oh, right. Yeah. Like
But
Toxic
still,
Avenger kind of thing.
Yeah, but still, it looks totally different, and yeah.
Yeah, this is the third time we see Kane Hodder in this role. He was 7, 8, and 9 being this one. Jason Goes to Hell. And we love him. Like, he's one of the best Jasons, in my opinion. He just seems like we met him how many times at conventions. Super cool guy, big guy. And I guess he made a cameo in the movie, you were saying?
Yeah, towards the beginning, yep. He is one of the SWAT team members, and he's patting down the character that's played, whoever the coroner is played by. He's like patting him down. Yeah, he's got black hair, kind of a mullet, curly mullet in the back. Yeah, just a little small scene, but yeah, I noticed him. I was like, oh yeah, that's Kane Hodder there. So he kind of had his human. I guess that was his first human cameo in a Jason film. Probably, maybe even his probably his only one. Really, I don't think he's plays any other characters in any other films. So
not that I know of.
Yeah,
that's pretty sweet.
Yeah,
that's one of the few good things about this movie. I think is Kane Hodder playing Jason. The little parts he's in the movie, I mean, they're pretty cool scenes.
Yeah.
And then he shows up at the end. But the rest of the movie is just really forgettable. There's nothing really good about it. The music sucks. The dialogue sucks. Characters suck. Story sucks. I did like Stephen Williams playing Creighton Duke.
Right, and we've seen him before. Most what am I trying to? I can't think of the word.
Yellowstone.
Yeah, we saw him recently on Yellowstone. I think he was in the second season, I want to say. Yeah, he showed up at the ranch there and played a character there. Yeah, so it's played by, I don't know the actor's name, but yeah, he has a small part in it, and he's the coolest. He's kind of the guy that kind of has things figured out, or so he believes. How to stop how to stop Jason once and for all in this film. So, and he's kind of being interviewed by this news guy, and he offers to go hunt Jason and get rid of him forever for like $500,000. So this news guy, there's a killing spree going on with Jason's passing from body to body, and he's leaving a bunch of bodies in his trail. And Creighton Duke is going after him basically, and he has this news reporter with him and sort of detailing all the crime that's happening. And he ends up, going out and trying to stop Jason Voorhees once and for all. But like you said, just everything's forgettable. Like, I don't know a single character's name in the film. Everything's just like flat, stale, like nobody to root for really.
It felt like a really bad, like, 90s movie. I mean, obviously it is a 90s movie, but everything about it was so cliche and nothing that really was good about it.
It never made me feel like I usually feel in pretty much any of the other Friday the 13th films. Like the setting was
the setting was off and the atmosphere was off. It just didn't feel like a Friday the 13th movie. It was a Jason movie. And this is a movie that was put up by New Line Cinema. They got the property after Paramount, and that's how eventually, Freddie and Jason got to fight 10 years later after this movie.
Just like at the end, how it, that, like I said before, I thought the only redeeming quality was, at the end, Jason gets defeated. He gets a dagger through the heart, some special powers in this dagger that end up killing him, and it goes through his heart. The main character kicks it into his heart, I think, and all of a sudden, he goes down to his knees, and there's a bright light from the sky, I guess the heavens or whatever, comes down, and basically it opens up the earth underneath Jason. And these like giant hands that look like half like tree or dirt, or I guess they're supposed to be demons or something bringing them down.
Yeah, just demons bringing them down to hell.
Yeah, it looked bad. Like just everything looked bad about it. It's like pulling him down in the dirt, and
it reminded me like Sam Raimi Army of Darkness, like the effects. It looked like a Deadite or something pulling him down, which was kind of cool.
Yeah, that was kind of cool. But yeah, like you said earlier, it's just like we haven't seen this in another film, so it's like, how does this doesn't make me feel like Friday the 13th here? But okay, I mean, you're definitely taking some liberties with this movie. Did something different, I guess you can say with that. But yeah, it just didn't work. But yeah, the final tease at the end after Jason's been sucked down to hell. you see his mask. The dirt sort of blows away to reveal Jason's hockey mask, which is silver looking for some reason. But anyways, it's sort of blows away, and then all of a sudden you see the Freddy glove come up and take the mask down. So that excited a lot of people, just because everybody's always been talking about like who would win between the big horror slasher icons of Jason and Freddy, and that was kind of the first tease we had into it. I don't know if they hadn't known already that that's a film that we're going to do, or they're just like, this will get people talking and still interested in the franchise.
Yeah, I think it was in development for a long time, especially after this movie, but it came out in 2003, so it took 10 years. So I know they wanted to do it, especially with the merging of these two big icons in New Line Cinema that really, that was the studio behind Freddy Krueger, Nightmare on Elm Street, that became this massive property. So it's pretty interesting how they bought Friday the 13th and Jason and brought these two icons together. And I love that movie. I love Freddy vs. Jason. It's very campy, but it's fun. It's a gore fest, and that's what it's all about.
That's what you want to see when you watch one of these movies. Yeah, it's all about the inventive kills. Yep. It's all about, and it's not necessarily about the story, but they kind of, it's the best when it remains close to the original set of movies. And this one just swayed too far to the other side for me anyway.
Yeah, they just tried to do something really different with this one. It didn't work. Even, the other films aren't great. Like Jason Takes Manhattan, which is basically him on a boat, and he makes it to New York finally towards the end. But yeah, this is way worse. I haven't watched Jason X in a long time. I need to revisit that. But this is definitely the worst one I've seen of the franchise. It was awful, and it was painful to get through.
Yeah, I agreed. I wanted to fast forward through most of it. So, that's a bad sign. Usually I can, even if a movie's like, say, Capone, which wasn't that good with Tom Hardy, like I'd gladly sit through that again, even knowing that it's bad. But this one's like a movie that I'm probably not going to revisit for a long time, if ever. Well, I'm sure I'll revisit it just to show like my son when he grows up. But other than that, not on my own.
Yeah, this is the first time watching this in 25 years, and it was god awful. I'm not going to keep going over everything that's bad with it. There's a few redeeming qualities. The end of the movie, the Freddy, the glove, Creighton Duke character, he was really great, but everything else is forgettable. It doesn't make any sense, and it's probably one of the worst horror movies ever made, for sure, on the list. So with that being said, I'm going to give Jason Goes to Hell a 1 out of 5 Jason Voorhees hair pieces.
I'm going to give it a little bit better score, but yeah, it's definitely low. I'll go ahead and give it a 2 out of 5 Jason's mother's hair pieces. Come here, Jason.
So we're interested in hearing your guys' thoughts on Jason Goes to Hell. What'd you like about it? What didn't you like about it? What's your favorite film in the franchise? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to hit, what is it?
I think it's subscribe, mate, to YouTube.
Subscribe! So it's the Wild Camp Counselor signing out from Cinephellas Studios until the next Halloween video.
Behind you, mate.
Cheers!